Is going into filmmaking in 2024 still a viable career path? Or is it just not possible to make a living anymore doing it? Even though we are currently going through the great contraction in Hollywood right now, in this video we'll cover the various reasons why it is still worth it to go into the film industry in 2024. So let's get into it. If you're new here, I'm Jordan and welcome back to the channel. I'm a narrative writer, director, and producer and have been working in LA for the last decade, and this channel is all about filmmaking techniques, the philosophy of art, creative and technical workflows, and what filmmaking can teach us about life. If you're currently a film student, just graduated, or are considering a career pivot into the film industry, there are still various reasons to consider pursuing film as a career path in 2024. So let's get into what those reasons are now. Creative expression. The film industry offers a unique platform for visual expression and storytelling. You really get to recreate life in the most realistic way, and you get to portray actors playing people in a way that not a lot of other art forms do. You also get to share your pieces with audiences and watch them watch it in real time and generate a real discussion about it afterwards, which is so rewarding. Artistic fulfillment. Filmmaking also combines various art forms: writing, acting, directing, cinematography, music. So this really creates a vibrant, multidisciplinary creative outlet for a lot of artists. Where else can you combine great music, stunning visuals, amazing visual effects, and poetic dialogue into one piece? Can anyone say The Matrix? Impact and influence. Films have the power to shape culture, influence public opinion, and inspire change. As a filmmaker, you have the opportunity to address important social issues in the world or speak about certain topics that you are especially passionate about. Whether it be different issues of social justice, civil unrest, or inequalities, you really have the ability to speak on these topics within a piece of art and also thrill and move people at the same time as you do it. I look at films like Spotlight that have generated a massive discussion about difficult concepts that people deal with in our real world, and how this really did inspire a lot of different conversations at that time that really needed to be had, even if they were difficult. Emotional connection. Movies have such a unique ability to speak to our emotions and transport us to these fantastical places and really offer us that escapism or inspiration, hope, or resilience that sometimes we really need a day that we aren't feeling great about things. Sometimes watching that film on a tough day is the best way to rediscover your own passions and motivation, kickstart your creative juices, get you inspired, and it really reminds you how powerful art is when it resonates with you, especially at the right time when you encounter it. I love the ability that films allow you to watch and share with friends and family that you really care about, and those create special memories in and of themselves, even if you're just watching a film together. Creating films also allows you the chance to create impactful characters that transcend time and space and really feel like you're creating characters that people love, or they feel as if they know as well as their own friends or family. So I think about some of the great movie characters throughout history that I love, and I think about characters like Harry Potter, Frodo, Jack Sparrow, Neo. These are all characters that I deeply feel I have a very close connection to, or almost love in a sense, and speak to me on a much deeper level, especially these days where things can feel so divided or stressful or uncertain. I think movies are a crucial form of escapism that we still very much need today. And movies and filmmakers who make them are really offering this valuable service in culture that really can't be overstated enough. Technological advancements. Advances in technology such as higher definition cameras that are smaller and smaller and editing softwares have really made it so that there are so many incredible tools now to make films for a much cheaper rate than you used to. So a lot of this technology has really leveled out the playing field and made it so that a lot more filmmakers, no matter what budget you're working with, can still produce incredibly intricate visuals on a much cheaper budget. You can still create some incredible visuals and incredible films even with just your phone, and a lot of softwares now that are free or very cheap to access, which really just makes making films that much more accessible than it's ever been in history, in my opinion. You really can find a lot more technical job opportunities, creative solutions to your problems. It allows a new wave of filmmakers to be even more creative and use the tools in so many different ways more cheaply than visual effects artists and filmmakers were able to do in years past. The creativity is really in the hands of the filmmaker, especially the up and coming generation, like yourself. So one good example of this is the editing and color grading software DaVinci Resolve, or the software Blender, which is a 3D modeling software, and you can find free tutorials on YouTube in which to learn how to use the software also for free. Distribution channels. Though it can come with some of its own negatives, I would argue that the rise of more streaming channels for distribution platforms has also meant more opportunities for more filmmakers to get more television shows or features distributed on more platforms, which really just means that there's more opportunities for you as a filmmaker to get your projects greenlit and to get them seen or distributed in more ways than there used to be. Global reach and recognition. These distribution channels and streamers have also really opened up the global reach of where these projects can be seen in different countries. And I would even argue that companies like Netflix have really expanded that global footprint to reach so many more countries now and have their projects reach us. So we're really having much more of this global dialogue through cinema in a way that we never have before this moment. This means that a project you make that gets put on a streamer could be seen now by so many different countries and a lot wider of an audience in different countries that could really resonate with it. This could really do a lot of things for you, like get you more projects if it's really popular in a certain country, which really means you might be able to even change the lives and make a difference, especially now overseas. This is especially true for documentary films and docuseries. I think the rise of a lot of the streaming platforms has allowed documentaries and docuseries to become that much more popular, but now that they're more accessible, that just means more documentary filmmakers are getting more opportunities to make those films and get funding for them. You now have more opportunities to be inspired by different cultures or different styles of filmmaking in countries overseas, and this is something that only benefits all of us to make us have this global dialogue with each other as filmmakers. Diverse opportunities. The film industry encompasses such a wide array of different professional jobs and skill sets, whether you're a construction worker, a musician, an artist, a painter. There's so many different jobs that you can get in this field because of how collaborative this art form is. And that's one of the things I love about it, is it requires this constant collaboration and working with so many different artists who are experts in their own respective trade. So this means that you not only get to learn from a lot of these different people who do different parts of the process, but you also get to meet some incredibly interesting people. By nature, it inspires you to want to learn more about their specific skill set or their trade in a way that you might not have if you weren't exposed to it as frequently. So there's always a place for you in this industry somewhere, depending on what your skill set is, if you look hard enough. It's also an amazing experience to learn how to be a better collaborator with a lot of other different people. Networking and community. Especially in a city like LA, a lot of us are transplants. We came from different cities to come out to LA to pursue our dreams of working in entertainment. So it's really awesome to compare these stories of where people come from, how their upbringing was, and to connect with people in that way, since we all usually have a shared dream in common because we all were passionate about a similar thing. This also leads to lifelong collaborations, friendships, and lasting memories that really do enhance your life and create such an exciting lifestyle that you lead in this field. Supportive communities. There are numerous film communities, meetups, forums that are online or in person, but also the chance to run into people that you admire. You never know who you're going to run into or meet. There will never be a shortage of industry parties. These are just fun ways to come together and meet other like-minded people, grow your network that way, and just celebrate how hard you work to be in this field that you care so much about. Making a film or a TV show is incredibly difficult. So sometimes it's really special when you can bond with the people on set that you make the project with and really get to know and also admire because of their backgrounds or the skill set that they bring to the table. Also, what other industry would allow you to be on a set, to be in the same space working on the same project in the same room as a legendary actor? In this field, you often get the chance to work on shoots or projects with people that you have long looked up to, and you get a chance to work with so many of these people throughout a career in film, even as an early filmmaker. You always have an end product that you can show to people, and they can watch firsthand where all of your hard work went into and celebrate it and watch it with them, which is incredible, and talk about it after. Sense of achievement. Completing a project, seeing it through, and being able to celebrate it is truly one of the most rewarding feelings in the world that I've ever experienced doing anything in my life. So that's something you will probably experience experience too, is if you get into this field and you're able to complete project after project, you continuously get that boost and reward and that feeling of accomplishment, like you really achieved something incredibly difficult. And again, you can learn and watch back your old projects and see how you can get better in real time. Career growth and development. Every time you do a new project, you have a chance to learn a different skill set or learn something new. And I really think that's part of the process of doing this work, is you should be pushing yourself to get better, learn more about different jobs on set, learn more about life and different people's stories. Especially as a writer, you're constantly tapping into the different ways people live and communicate. And I think that makes you all around a better artist and a person. Career progression. With dedication and perseverance, there really are many different routes of ascending the corporate ladder to getting into these incredibly lucrative and successful positions of director, studio executive, producer. And once you get to these levels, you really do have a lot of clout and influence in this industry. A lot of times, once you achieve some of these roles, it really does open up the possibilities of the caliber of projects that you're able to tackle or be a part of. And it really starts to allow you the opportunity to work with some of these more well-known artists, very esteemed craftspeople, or legendary talent. But I want to caveat that ascending the ladder in this field is incredibly difficult and really can take years of hard work and dedication. So I really do want to stress that patience and persistence are absolutely essential ingredients if you do want to ascend the ladder in this work. The feeling of being on set to shoot your own project, especially if you're the writer, the director, or actor, is unmatched by any other activity I've ever done in my life. I'll never forget the feeling of standing on set directing my short film Cuddle Buddies after years of working so hard just to be able to bring it to life, sharing the making of it with a whole group of people who you get to work with to accomplish your vision as a group. It's such a great feeling. There's no feeling that's topped it for me, and it's something that can become quite addicting, especially once you do it once. It never gets boring. Unlike a lot of traditional office jobs, this career field will constantly be throwing you a ton of variety, whether that be working on different sets in different countries. There's always so much variety because each shoot is so unique and different in what it requires to pull it off. But if you want a thrilling life that never gets boring, this is absolutely the career field for you. You will continuously be challenged and tested in this industry, especially for how bad you want it when it gets hard. If you do work in this field and you do break in and achieve any level of high success, you'll know that you truly worked hard for it and earned it. And this also teaches you a lot about your own resilience and your own will and patience to make it through and outlast very difficult situations. Made it despite the fact that it was hard. Awards and recognition. The industry offers numerous recognitions and awards. Let's be honest, what filmmaker hasn't dreamed at least once of winning an Academy Award for a film they do? I think that's something that also can be alluring and exciting. Financial potential. While this industry is extremely difficult to break into, this field really can bring you some incredibly lucrative returns, and especially if you're working on larger budget films or you work on a project that really does take off and becomes a success, whether it be back-end revenue that you get, or you can have enough money to directly finance other filmmakers' projects that you really support. Personal fulfillment. I think about the films that got me into filmmaking, like Donnie Darko, Pirates of the Caribbean, or The Matrix, and I think about how impactful those films were on my life and how much they enhanced my life as an artist or as a person. And I think it pushes you to want to do that same thing to inspire and influence other future filmmakers who also want to make a huge impact and revolutionize the art form of cinema in so many different ways. Increase diversity and inclusion. There's a growing emphasis on diversity and inclusion in the film industry, especially in recent years. I really feel like more and more opportunities for underrepresented voices and stories to be told are starting to really happen. That really is the chance for you to create a piece of art that transcends time and space, from audience to filmmaker, in such a meaningful way. And this is what makes cinema truly transcendent. And that concludes why filmmaking is still a viable career path in 2024. If you haven't already, check out my counterpart video to this one where we talk about all of the reasons why filmmaking is not a viable career path in 2024. And after watching both, I really want to empower you to make the decision on if it's still worth pursuing or not? I want to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree with any of the points that I made in this video? And if so, I'd love to hear why. I also love to hear the different reasons that you got into filmmaking if you currently work in film or TV. And if you're currently working in film and TV, I'd love to hear how your current experience is going. Let me know if there's any other topics that you want to see covered in a future video, and I will definitely make sure we get them covered. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will definitely catch you next week where we continue to talk about different techniques that can take your narrative film career to the next level. So I will definitely see you then.